I'd like to start out by thanking you guys for clicking on this video. It really does wonders for the channel, bringing new people in. So make sure you guys like and comment on this video whenever you feel so. You guys don't have to do it right now. But anyway, I've hinted at it a few times in previous videos about doing a studio tour. For those that don't know, I own my own studio here in Orange County, California. And this is it. This is the space OC. Now, jumping right into it, this is my personal studio space that I personally shoot out of. I bring my clients here and I do my own creative work out of here. Now, additionally, on top of that, I also rent it out on platforms like PeerSpace, Gigster, and Splicer. Now, that is the primary form of income that comes into here. That's how I'm able to afford all the rent, all the utilities, blah, blah, blah. And also just with that, it's a cool way to engage and meet other creatives that are in Orange County, but people also come from as far as San Diego, the Inland Empire, even from LA. We're about an hour away from LA, so it's not too far, but it's a different vibe out here, to say the least. And if you're from SoCal, you know what I'm talking about. But that's not what this video is about. I'm gonna get right into this tour, and I'm just gonna start out with this main area right here. This is what every studio has, hopefully, and it is backdrops. Starting from the top down, we have our 9-foot black backdrop, 9-foot gray backdrop, and this is our 9-foot white backdrop. Now, specifically, that gray is a fashion gray. It is a little bit of a darker gray, something that I lean more towards. I really like it. It's easy to make it black if you want to, because personally, I don't really like shooting on black, but some people do. So that's why we have the black, gray, and white. And this is also held up on a Varipole system. So a Varipole system is basically, it looks like a stripper pole, but it's a pole that mounts to the floor via suction cups, and it goes up to 12 feet or 15 feet, depending on which version you get. And there's a suction cup on the bottom and a suction cup at the top, and you basically shimmy it up to the ceiling, and you latch it down to create tension, giving you a sturdy mounting point. So obviously I have 2 of those for the whole system, and then I have a backdrop mount system on each pole mounting up the backdrops. And having a Varipole system makes it so that the footprint on the floor is so much smaller than having a traditional stand. Traditionally, you would have a stand on the right, a stand on the left, and a beam in the middle. And those stands can be pretty big as far as the footprint that they take up on the floor. And having this studio space where not only I rent or I use, but other people rent out of, I want to have as much space as possible. So a Varipole system was definitely the way to go for this. And continuing on, right behind me is, I would say, the most essential thing that every studio should have, and this is a utility cart. It can be used for many things. I've seen some people literally just use it as a place where they put their clothes, they just put whatever on here. But typically this is where you would put your gear. So when I shoot, I tether through Capture One. So I have my laptop, my Canon R5, my tether cables, some of my other lenses and things of that nature on the cart. As you see, I have some clamps here. Like I said, it's a utility cart. So this is kind of where you will always come home to you know, whether it's tethering or getting essential tools that you'll need for the shoot. So today I'm shooting this video, so I have my gimbal case, I have a lens, some other mounting points, utility, or a multi-tool. You need this, actually. I think every photographer should have at least 2 or 3 of these. These things are awesome. And I have some tape, and then on the bottom, I have some other modifiers, such as a beauty dish, some honeycombs, some, what is down there? Some umbrellas, and then I also have other power cables and extension cables. So the utility cart is definitely a key thing, and a key, it's a very important tool that I feel like every studio should have. And yeah, moving on over, I guess I'll just jump over right here. Here are 2 of the 5 C-stands that I have here in the studio. C-stands are basically just very durable tripods for lights. I'm not giving a very good explanation of it, but they're heavy duty, they can handle weight. And I feel like C-stands are definitely a much better purchase. They can be more expensive, well, they are more expensive than your regular light stands, but these things are heavy duty. On 2 of the C stands, I have wheels because they carry some of the lights that get the most use. So I put wheels on them so it's much easier to move around and navigate around the studio with. And then the others, I put tennis balls on them so that you can just slide them across and not damage the floor. So right down here are one of our 2 sets of Apple boxes. So we have a full set here. We have 2 full sets. So starting out with a pancake, a quarter, a pancake, a quarter, a half, and a full. And Apple boxes can be used for many, many different things, whether it's propping up a product, propping up your model, or even propping up the photographer if you're not tall enough. So there's many, many use cases for this. And I think it's another essential thing that every studio should have. That's why we have 2 sets. Another thing that could be kind of expensive for what it is, but if you don't have them, you will wish that you did. These things are pivotal here at the space, so glad that we have 2 sets of them. Now flipping over to our other side of the studio, this is what I like to call the lime wash set. So as you can see, this big wall right here, we actually did this ourselves. So myself and my friends Gabby and Josh, we actually hand lime washed this wall just so that it gave some character and just wasn't a blank wall in the studio. And then I actually just added these drapes yesterday just to add another element here, not having blank walls here in the studio. So like I said, we have some drapes here, lime wash over here. We have a posing box, pedestal, some other props, and little key trinkets just to make the space a little bit better. A lot of females love shooting on this side of the studio for the aesthetic. So we have like a lot of props like cameras, little glass pieces, architecture books, just a lot of cool little trinkets just to elevate the space. Now jumping over to this side over here, this is where we house and store all of our backdrops. So these are all the colors that we have right here, and they're actually on a system. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's by Savage. So actually all the backdrops are made by a company called Savage Universal, and they make this wall mount to mount all of the backdrops. So that this system has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections for backdrops. The one thing I really love, one, obviously it keeps it very organized and clean and put together, but this is how it operates. So you just pull that down, pull the backdrop out, and it clicks back into place. Then when you're ready to put it back, you just pull that back down, put your backdrop back into that section, it clicks, and it's held there nice and sturdy. So this is something that is not necessarily a key thing to have, but for me, I want things to look very organized and clean and put together here. And this is actually, the door is right behind you guys. So coming in, that is typically the first thing that you'll see. So I think it should be nice and organized. So Savage Universal with that backdrop mount is another key thing here at the Space OC. Moving forward, this is our bathroom that is within the studio, within our actual studio space. This is actually not that common, having a restroom within the physical shooting space. So this is something that is very smiled upon, I'll say, for lack of better words. This is something that's not that common. So flipping over to this side of the studio, this is kind of like a multi-use area. So we have our makeup chairs, director's chairs, makeup vanity right here. This is actually Bluetooth capable. No one ever uses it because we have Bluetooth speakers here, but you turn, there you go, you turn that on, and then you have some beautiful light right there. So makeup clients love that, makeup artists love that. So yeah, I think this is definitely pivotal here. Here's our second set of Apple boxes. We also have tables that come with every single booking, and then also this is our little sink area with the nice mirror. People love taking selfies here, making sure they look good before they shoot. Underneath we have all our cleaning products, additional toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning products, things of that nature. I actually almost forgot to mention, this is also where we have our mini fridge. So this is where we house all of our drinks, all of our waters. So when clients come and they're here all day and they need something to drink, We offer complimentary water, so people stay hydrated out here, because we don't want anyone passing out when the flicks are looking too spicy and it gets hot in here. So we offer free waters for every single shoot. And then, like I said, I shoot here, so when I'm thirsty, that's where I go straight to the fridge, grab me some water, and we are hydrated and good to go. Now, as far as lighting here at the Space OC, we offer free lighting for every single booking that comes in here. So we have the Godox SK402s. We actually have 3 sets of them, but I have the other 2 hidden behind those drapes that I showed you guys from the lime wash set, just to make the studio look a little bit more clean and not have so many lights and stands just out in the studio. And if people want them, they can go back there and get them. But we do have 3 sets of them. Obviously right here, it has a modifier. This is a Octobox with a grid on it. We also have 2 strip boxes. We have a beauty dish, and then we also have a 20-inch umbrella with diffusion as well. We also have V-flats here in the studio. V-flats are for adding light or taking away light, depending on which side that you use. So we have 2 sets of those here in the studio as well. So this is probably the main area of the studio that people love to shoot at and gravitate to when they find out that we're here. And this is, I call, the New York loft side of the studio. So we have our cowhide right here. We have a vintage table. We have some trinkets here, like this random wooden bowl. We have a Tom Ford book. We have a black metal chain. We have this prop vintage camera here. We have our Harman Kardon right here, which is perfect for adding the vibes for any shoot. Over here, we have another magazine. That is actually my first issued work. So some of my photography was issued in there. That's my first ever publication, that magazine right there. We have a nice little light post here. We have a record player, some more greenery, some more stools, just some vibes over here just to add value. We have this beautiful couch right here, beautiful brown leather couch. Models love this thing, whether they're just shooting up against this wall. And we've actually had people move it and shoot on backdrops with it, and even move it into the section I'm gonna show you guys next. We have some little baby's breath, their little vintage briefcase. And yeah, so that is that side of the studio. Now, the key thing about this side of the studio, obviously, is all the exposed brick. This entire studio is, well, this building is a very, very old building. It was built in the 20s. So all this brick and all the exposed ducting, well, not the ducts were put in, but all the beams and all that is original to the building and has just been restored when I took possession of the property. So all of this is authentic and real, none of that fake stuff. This is the real deal, real brick, real wood, real metal beams. And I think that just adds to the value and the character of this studio space, just giving it that true New York loft style and loft look. And then lastly, this is the last section of the studio. I actually don't even have like a specific name for it, but this is another area where people love to shoot. We got a nice little Polaroid right here, vintage leather chair right here. People love shooting here, obviously, because of the big window and the beautiful natural light that comes in. Right here on the floor, we have a vintage chest. And I say it's vintage because this chest is personal to me. I've had this treasure chest. It's been a part of my life since I was in the 5th grade. And it's been to every apartment, every college I've ever attended. It was in my home until I got this studio and I brought it here. So this is something that's personal to me, and I think this is the perfect home for it. Here at my first studio space. But then moving on, here is one of our newest additions to the studio. And this is our newspaper wall. I literally built this out 2 days ago. And honestly, the hardest part wasn't putting all this on the wall. The hardest part was finding newspapers. I forget that we live in such a digital era, but yeah, this is our newspaper wall. No one has shot on it yet because, like I said, we literally just finished it. So you guys are the first to see it. So I think people will love this area. It's cool, it's different, it's new to the studio. And then lastly, we have a little black chair over here. And then on the floor, instead of just having the wood floor, I threw this painter's tarp just to have a cool, different vibe, vintage vibe over here. And we'll see what people do with it. Like I said, this whole area, I just reconstructed it, reinvented it. So I'm curious to see how people take on to it. And a few highlights about our studio. We do have central AC and central heating here in the studio. And then lastly, we also have the capability of blackout. So every single window has blackout curtains, and we even went above and beyond to cover up our skylight. One thing that you'll see with our studio is that we have an abundance of natural light, but some productions want to cut out some of that natural light, and we went ahead and put a blackout, automatic blackout curtain for our skylight. With a click of a button, you just press it, and then you have a nice shade that will either open or close. I truly hope you guys enjoyed that video and enjoyed the walkthrough of my studio space. This space, like I said, it's a blessing. It's an answer to prayer. It's honestly something that I knew it would happen. I just didn't know how it would happen or when it would happen. A lot of blood, sweat, and literal tears have come out of this place and gone into it as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys love this type of content, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Drop down in the comments what your favorite part of the studio is, and also what type of content you're looking for in the future. Hope you guys like that. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and see y'all in the next one. Peace.